Welcome to Voices of Impact and Change, where we amplify the stories behind the stories, the journeys, the breakthroughs, and the voices that are transforming lives. I'm your host, Dr. Mack, Chief Visionary Officer of Mack Media and Publishing. And in today's episode, it's a part of our I Am Her Fierce, Fearless, and Focused series, where we highlight incredible women behind the pages of this powerful book. And this conversation is for that woman who is ready to move with clarity, confidence, and bold intention. And I am so lucky to be honored to have our guest here today, who is author of the chapter Focus with Fearless Ferocity. And so I'm so excited to have Miss LaKeeta Prunty on, future Dr. Prunty, on with us today. And so I just want to welcome you to the Voices of Impact and Change. How are you today?
I'm doing well. I just wanted to say thank you for having me on this podcast. I really appreciate it. Enjoy working with you and all of the authors on this project.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, we're excited to have you here and your voice. And, we just finished an amazing summit that was very, I think, impactful for all of us internally and for those who attended. And so just to continue to inspire and impact others, we're excited to hear more from you today.
Yes, absolutely. And that summit, oh my gosh, it was so amazing. It was impactful. Just it I mean, I'm still on fire. Like it ignited me to where I'm like, I need to go out and continue this work that I'm doing, working with children and families, empowering other women to be their authentic selves and go out and reach their goals and don't let anything stop them. So I don't know, that summit, I think that's something that needs to happen every year so I can keep my fire lit.
Oh, for sure. We are looking forward to I Am Her 2027 already. And so definitely continuing to make that impact. And so hopefully you'll join us again in our 2027 season as well.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, I want to first kind of start with thinking about just the title of your chapter within the book, and is titled Focus with Fearless Ferocity. Can you explain what does that mean? What does that mean to you?
So it took me a minute to come up with my title because I'm like, man, what I'm like, I'm fearless, I'm focused. But when I was thinking about it, I was like, sometimes I am fearful, because you're stepping into the unknown, and a lot of times you kind of isolate yourself because you haven't found your tribe, you haven't found your people. So the title, I was like, okay, I am going to start moving fearlessly with ferocity. So to me, the title is me on my journey. And it hasn't always been an easy journey because you always have different obstacles, which those people can be, other people can be your obstacles, but sometimes
Yes,
you are your own obstacle. So
absolutely.
I always have to pep talk myself now. I'm like, okay, why am I not doing that? Why am I scared? Why? I shouldn't be, especially when I think about all the things that God has brought me through, and just putting different people in my life that have helped me to move fearlessly. And I just want to say the first project that I worked on with you, like I always wanted to write a book. And I talked to Dr. Cicely Ward, and she was working on a book. And I was like, okay, um, how do I do that? And I was very scared. But then after I decided I'm going to get all over that fear, I need to believe in myself, and that's something I can do. And you all helped me to do that. That's why I continue to write. It's a it's a relief for me. It's to exactly what you're doing, to amplify my voice.
Oh, I
And
love
I
that.
feel like and just that summit, I realized, as Dr. Rowe put it, don't contain yourself. And also Dr. Andrea, she was like, don't mute yourself, don't live on mute. And I think that's what I've been doing a lot of times, is living on mute and containing myself and isolating myself. So I'm not going to be fearful anymore, and I'm going to keep moving forward.
I love that. And so when did you realize that you needed both the focus and fearlessness in your journey?
So I've always been focused, even as a child. And I went back and looked at one of my books, like I guess like a almost like a scrapbook from high school. I was like, okay, I'm going to major in psychology, and I want to learn more about business. So my focus, I did go to school to and majored in psychology, but I double majored in marketing management. So that my focus, that's always been there, but fearfulness has always been there as well. But I've found, like, as I've grown and matured, I think the turning point for me in my life is when I entered my doctoral program. That made me um, look at myself. It made me look at myself, and I've learned so many things about myself. Like, like, hey, I'm holding myself back. No one can hold you back but you. So I've done a lot of that, just living in fear and not being my authentic self. So I've just decided, due to the spaces and the people I've come in contact with, decided to stop doing that. And that has been very recent. So it's not like it's just I've been doing this for years. It's been very recent.
I love that you said that it's been very recent, because for a lot of us, it's not like one moment in your life. It's a continuation. You're going to have moments that's going to draw you back in, and you need to bring yourself back up. And so it's not always about, I figured it out here, from here on
Mhm.
out, it's going to be great. I mean, that's a great attitude to have about it, but we all know that life starts happening, and sometimes things get in the way,
Mhm.
moments get in the way, and
Absolutely.
sometimes we get in our own way.
Mhm.
But being able to come back and go through it is, I think, where the live lesson is that we can keep going and failing forward, and reminding ourselves and surrounding yourself with other people who are like-minded, that are also going to be great supporters, and just being in that space is just, inspiration in itself. And so I love that.
Yes,
Take us
absolutely.
Yeah, take us to a moment like when you had to move with Fearless Ferocity, like in your life, and like what did people not see during that season?
Oh my gosh. So oh my gosh, to when I had to move fearlessly. I am going to say there's some different times, but like the most recent time is me deciding to go back to school, um because I'm a big believer in education. So going back to school to get my doctorate, that has been very scary. It has been very draining. um and I think, like, advocating for myself when I notice something wasn't right, because I don't want to, you don't want to stir up any trouble or anything like that. But I think me advocating for myself in certain situations um, has been something where I've had to move, knowing that it's okay to say something respectfully, and letting other people know that. Because if they don't know that and you don't speak up for yourself, who's going to take care of you better than you take care of yourself? So those are some, one of the things that I've had to deal with and move fearlessly and not be afraid to speak up and say, hey, this is not right. I I don't deserve to be treated like this. If you want me to do this work respectfully, the expectation should be that I am respected respectfully. So, yeah, that would be, I would say one of those would be in school, but also work. I had a situation where I've had to go to a supervisor, because there is a difference between a supervisor and a leader. I had to go to a supervisor and say, hey, this is not right. This is not how, people should be treated. And that is so not me. I am very shy. I don't speak up. And I think that some has to do with some of the way I was raised, like, hey, you be quiet, you don't cause any issues. And as an adult, just very recent years, I've had to learn that it is okay to speak up. You deserve to be treated appropriately. It's not a bad thing to speak up for yourself, because if people how do they know if you don't say anything? So just like, you hold yourself accountable, other people should be held accountable as well. So I was very proud of myself for speaking up, but it's very scary to speak up for yourself, especially when you're not used to. You're just quiet and you just move along like everything's okay. But you're torn up inside, and everybody else is walking around like everything is fine. And you're over here, you're carrying this big boulder on your back, and you can't drop it because you haven't opened your mouth to say anything. So I have decided if something is wrong, I need to say something, because I'm the one that's living with that torture.
Yes. Yes, and I think so many of us can definitely relate to that. And it's not that when you say something, it has to come off a certain way, but it has to be said, because it is tearing you up inside, and someone may not know what you're going through in that moment. And sometimes I think that people do that and they have that retained in, but the delivery when it comes out is like, you're at its limits. But if you get in the habit of sharing, and releasing it from you, because you don't have to contain that within, and your voice matters. How people treat you, how you feel matters, whether you're in the workspace, personal relationships, volunteer work, whatever your journey takes you on. But I think that is a real feeling to definitely share.
And
Now,
Dr. Mack, I just wanted to say, a lot of times I think before I speak, and I practice, because my intent is not to hurt anyone's feelings, but I want them to know how I feel. So I'm not that one that just automatically pops. I got to go
right.
think about it, because I need it to be. I need you to understand how I feel, but my intent is not to hurt your feelings.
Right. I love that. I love that. And sometimes we need to also consider that when we're listening with empathy to the other person,
Mhm.
that it's not about that as well. I love that. So,
Absolutely.
what does it look like for you to like stay focused in like a world full of like distractions that are happening around you? Like, how do you still stay focused and stay the course?
Okay. Well, I now understand the purpose of having some me time. So one way I stay focused is I have people around me that I can talk to. Just discussing with them like maybe how I'm feeling or things that I'm experiencing. I also like to work out. That helps me to stay focused on my goals, because if I'm feeling frustrated, I can maybe do a weight or ride the bike, and I'm like letting that stress off of me in order to stay focused. Also, I write stuff down. I write it down, like, okay, what are my goals? This is what I'm going to do. Here are three things. And some of them, it may be, I may write a goal for the next month or so. This is what I need to complete within the next month. by the end of the year, this is what I'm going to have done. So a lot of my things I write down. I do talk about them, but I write them down in order to stay focused. But I also take that time to do those other things that I enjoy, like watching movies and eating popcorn, to just be reflective. That's something that helps me to stay focused, just reflecting on, okay, what can I do, what did I do wrong, or what are some, and not that it's wrong, but what is another path I can take, to get a better result, because this, I took this path and this path didn't work. What can I do next? So those are some things that help me to stay focused.
I love that. I love that. Okay, so for this next part, we're going to go quick. I just want you to answer the question, the first thing that comes to you, or if you have to process, we understand. But it's just really aligned to the title and the theme of the book. And so, first question: what does being fierce look like for you?
Oh, being fierce, that means let nothing get in your way. If you have a plan, you go for that plan and you don't let anything stop you, regardless of how much money or what people say. You just keep moving forward and do what you need to do for you.
I love that. I love that. Okay, next, what fear did you have to overcome or release?
Talking to people and writing, even though I talk to people every day and I enjoy it.
I love it. Okay. And the last part of our go quick is what keeps you focused as you continue to grow?
Oh man, God definitely helps me keep stay focused and on track, and just having a group of positive people around me. That's what helps keep me on track.
I love that. I love that. And for the woman who's out there, maybe watching, maybe listening right now, that feels stuck or they may feel distracted, what would you say to her?
Oh man, I would just say stay, set your goal, stay on that path, regardless of what obstacles or what, the obstacles could be people. People always have something to say, whether you're doing something positive, whether you've done something negative. Don't let any of those things get in your way. Stay your course, and don't let yourself talk you out of anything, because we can talk ourselves out of things that we know that are beneficial for us, but we'll talk ourselves out of it. So positive talk yourself, even if you have to write it down. Write it down, stick it on your mirror in the bathroom, and say positive words of affirmation to yourself. That, I mean, don't let anything stop you.
I love that. I love it. And in the book, we have those pieces that go out through that to have those affirmations and have those moments of her. So thank you for sharing that. And one last thing before we go, I want you to complete this sentence for me. So I'm going to say it, you just complete the rest. I am her because.
Oh, because God loves me.
Hmm, I love it. I love it. Well, LaKeeta, thank you so much for sharing your voice, your story, and your impact with us today. And for those who are listening or tuning in, if this conversation spoke to you, I encourage you to stay connected, share this episode, and continue supporting voices that are really creating real impact in our world. And now, don't forget now, we want you to be sure to make sure you grab a copy of I Am Her, Fierce, Fearless, and Focused to experience even more powerful stories just like this one. And if you have been carrying a story, maybe you've been carrying a message, or maybe you have a voice inside you that the world just needs to hear, this is also your reminder that you do not have to wait for permission. At Mac Media and Publishing, we help bring those stories to life, turning them into impact. And I am so grateful to have that as a part of my work. And so this is Voices of Impact and Change. And I'm Dr. Mac, Chief Visionary Officer of Mac Media and Publishing, reminding you to walk boldly in who you are called to be. Until next time. Thank you again, LaKeeta. It's been a
Thank
pleasure.
you.